Par 5 mistakes. We get to a par 5 and we think, yes, birdie chance, net birdie chance, whatever we do, whatever we feel a sense of, right, okay, we should take this hole by the scruff of the neck and we should make some points up here. Why do we do that? Are you someone who does that? In today's video, I talk you through the 5 biggest par 5 mistakes. And hopefully, these will stop costing you when you get to the par 5. So you are joining me down here in Portugal. I'm on the Algarve. I am playing San Lorenzo. This place is stunning. If you've not checked it out, I have vlogs out on this course. Some spectacular holes. The 5th, 6th and 7th are stunning. We're now here on the par 5 8th. Equally as nice. And we're going to start off with the first massive mistake you make when playing par 5s. Now, if you don't make the first one, make sure you stick around to the last one because you're guaranteed to make that. Tee down, fairway finder. Got to be this right. First of our big mistakes starts from the tee. We see a par 5 and we automatically go to the driver. I've done it here, you do it all the time. We don't actually take into account what we see in front of us. We think because it's a long hole, we automatically need this. But does sometimes driver bring trouble into play? So number 1 is always picking driver. Let's actually think about it as if you're looking at a par 4 or a par 3. We would look at our yardage, we would look at what the trouble is, and we would make our selection of the club around it. I want you to do the same thing on a par 5. So once we've selected the club, and if it is driver, which in this case it is here, fairly forgiving fairway, a lot of water on the right, bunkers on the left, but it is a driver down here. Okay, the second biggest mistake we all feel now, because it's a long hole, we feel like, right, I need to give it an extra 10% and actually try and hit the cover off the golf ball. Why do we do it? I do it. And I get this thing where I've got to get up into this almost macho thing. And 9 times out of 10, every time I try that, I end up making bogey. Are you one of those people too? So number 1 and 2 are from the tee. 1, always selecting driver when it might not be that club. Number 2, trying to hit the cover off it. Okay, I'm going to try and smooth one down here. Tee down, fairway finder. Lovely little fade. Safe as houses. Just to back myself up on this point and not having to larrup it and get it down there and make sure you go for par 5s and 2. Zach Johnson won the Masters not going for a single par 5. Now in the common or modern day professional golf, everybody can reach them, right? So why did he not? Got to be something behind this. Now I have to say, this golf course is one of my favourite. I've never been down here before. I love the little rustic feel to it. It feels very linksy. It doesn't feel like it's very man-made. And I love that of a golf course. It almost feels as though the landscape and the golf course is fit around the landscape rather than having to move mountains of soil to make it look like a good golf course. Now, they may have done, but whoever did it has done a blooming good job. So from the fairway, this now brings me on to the 3rd biggest mistake we make on par 5s. So I've hit a nice drive away. I've gone with my fairway finder swing now after you've listened to number 1 and 2. And now automatically, and I do this, go, right, okay, well, I can't reach there with any other club and possibly can't reach there at all. Let's just smash this down there. Does that bring you into trouble? So I want you to do 2 things for me when you next get into a par 5 situation like this. As you can see here, I've got water down the right and it cuts in short of the green. My Sunday best running, jumping start might get there, but when am I realistically going to do that? So I'm going to play short of these bunkers here on the left, into the widest part of the fairway, leave myself a full wedge to the green. And that's my sound advice. So tip number 3, don't automatically have to go for par 5s in 2. Zach Johnson, remember guys? So the theory behind that is just to lay up into the safest area possible. Whatever club that might be. It may well be a 3, it may well be a 9, whatever it is. If it's a shot where it's close to the green and it's got some danger that we add to it, why are we doing it? Why are we going for it? So number 3, weigh up your options. Lemonek, well, I'm glad I didn't go for it, because look at what I would have to carry. So I'm playing that blind. I didn't know that. I mean, I could have tried to hit it into here, but that'd be ridiculous because it's absolutely tiny. But a chippy 4-iron or 3-iron, whatever it might be for you, into this area here is exactly what I was trying to do. Safe as houses. Now time to chance to hit it on the green and see if we can make a birdie this way. We're halfway through this vlog now. We're now about to talk about the 4th and the 5th biggest mistake. But I make this content for you, so I want you to tell me what you want to see on the channel in the future. So please do comment down below, and if you are enjoying this video, hit that button too. The 4th biggest mistake. We've now got a wedge in our hand and we've done everything good to this point. We very often find with par 5 greens, they're smaller because we're meant to hit them in 3 or net 3, whatever that might be for our handicap. So they're usually heavily guarded with slopes, bunkers, water, or absolutely everything in this case. But we still have that thing in our head, that little bugbear in our head, that from the tee, we still need to make a net birdie or we need to make a birdie, we can get something back here. So we sometimes then take too much on with the approach shot. Now, there is within reason depending on what handicap you are. So if you're a lower handicap player, you may take on more risk than a higher handicap player. But my advice to you is measure that risk. Use the traffic light system. Don't get too greedy. So a lot of people, for number 4 on the biggest mistake, they get too greedy when they get into hitting that wedge. That's certainly not greedy. That's just on the left side of the green. Right, let's go and finish this hole off, and then I'm going to leave you with the 5th biggest mistake made on par 5s. And this is something that you will have never heard of before on YouTube, I promise you that. So stick around for that. I'm going to see if I can make a birdie here with my conservative approach, what some people might call it. I'm calling it smart. This would almost look staged if I hold this. By the way, can we just take in and appreciate what we've got here? These greens are very nice, by the way. But I've been struggling on the greens this week, to be honest. In all the vlogs that I've done, and I'll leave the links down below, I just can't, even though the greens are great and they're fast, I just can't get it to the hole. Some people might say I'm scared. So you raced that one past, Alex. Number 5 on our list, and I promise you this is something you've probably not thought of before. Do you take your handicap into account? Not a lot of you do. So if you have a shot on a par 5, which most of us probably will do, I want you to think, right, okay, well, I can make 6 and I can still get 2 points if I've got 1 shot. Well, why not take that into account when we're hitting it from the tee? So it may not be driver. Then why not take that into account on the layup? And why not take that into account on the whole hole? We tend to forget, and we get that macho thing, or we get that thing where we have to hit the green on a par 5, no matter if that's net handicap or not net handicap. Let's stop doing it. So let's actually think about putting our handicap on. So my biggest mistake, number 5, is people not taking their handicap into account. It's so simple, it's there to help. So thank you for watching the countdown of the 5 biggest mistakes made on par 5s. If you did enjoy it, please do consider subscribing and let me know in the future what you want to have on the channel. See you next time.